Everybody, I'm Doe Doe the Magnificent, and I'd like to show you something with some fruit today. Alright, see, I've got some really cool things here. I've got, of course, some fruit, some oranges, I've got some apples, some red ones, and I've got some green ones. Alright, we're going to use this fruit today because we are going to be talking about the fruit of the Spirit for the next couple of weeks. Okay, and so every one of the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, all of them have some kind of thing that they do to help us. Okay? Now check this out. This here bucket, this blue bucket, this has got, you see the word sin on there, because it's got sin inside of it. Now, what you'd expect is when I dip this cup inside and bring it up, you'd expect to see nice, black, dirty, nasty water because it's sin. But sin, you know what? When you look at something that's sin, it actually looks like it's good at first. It looks like something that would be okay to have. It looks like it is something you want. Because it's your desires that birth sin, okay? So you desire something and you want it and you go for it, and that's how you get sin in your life. Alright, so now what we're going to do is this sin is going to enter your life. So what we've got here, I've got a nice little tray. Okay, and the tray is to catch something later. And then we've got this nice big pickle jar, okay? And the pickle jar, that is you, okay? So this pickle jar is you. And what we're going to do, this is what's going to happen. You, in your life, you've probably done some wrong things. Some things that are sins, okay? So let's say you've lied or you've stolen something. And so what we're doing here is I'm pouring sin into you. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill you up with sin like this, okay? This is going to take a minute, so I'm going to keep doing it, and Alright, so now I'm all the way to the top, but I'm going to get all the way I want to be right here on the very tippity top. So I'm going to pull this in nice and slow so I can get it right at the tip top. And I want that surface tension on there. Now that's a science term, not a magic term. Okay, so this is what we've got here. We've got the sin that was here, we've got you that were here, and then we had sins that were in our lives. Now, like I said, these could be really simple sins. It could be lying to your mom about cleaning your room, or just anything that you might have done wrong in your life. It has filled your life, and you see, as the sin filled up inside of, well, this is you in this jar, what happened? Was it nice and clear like it is over here? Does it look good like it did before? No, it's much more apparent that there's something wrong, right? Because now it's got a reddish color to it, right? So what happens is Jesus, He died for us. He shed His blood for us so we could accept Him into our lives so we could be different. He gave His life so we could live a life like He showed an example of. You see, He died for us so we could live. And you see, what He wants out of us is this fruit. You see, the fruit is very important. We should see this growing in our lives. Love, joy, peace, self-control. All these things should be growing in our lives. And now you see, if we take one of these fruits and I put it inside this jar, what's going to happen? Well, of course, what's going to happen is water is going to pour out of the jar. Right? You see, so every time the fruit goes in, water pours out of the jar. So the fruit takes up space in the jar that the water used to take up. And what's the water? It's sin. So every time a fruit goes in, sin comes out. Alright, so now Jesus forgives us of all of our sins. But you see, and a lot of people say, well, I still have problems with this. I still have problems with anger or cheating or being mean to people. And so you see what happens though is let's say that you have a problem with having hard things in your life. And see, now this is joy. Now joy, it's going to be there no matter whether the hard stuff is there or not. You've still got joy. You see? So what about love? Let's say this will be love. So you put in love right here, and see now, look at that. But what's happening here? You see how the fruit sits on the top? It sticks out the top like that. You see that right there? You see, what we like to do is we like to point at the fruit that's poking out the top and saying that this is who I am. I show love, because look at that, there's love right there. But you can see underneath, there's so much more hidden. We'll see more and more fruit in our lives is what's going to help us out. You see, and more fruit going in, there's more sin going out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep putting fruit in here. And it's not exactly easy because the sin keeps pushing the fruit back up. Now, of course, these things are floating in the water, but it's just the same thing. The sin doesn't want these things in your life. It wants to hold you down. It wants to keep you down. But you see, the fruit wants to lift you up. And the sin wants it out of your life, because with it in there, it can't add any more. If I take this sin over here, guess what? Not very much of it can be added. I can try and pull more in, but at some point, it's going to run out of the sides again because of the fruit. The fruit is taking up space. So the more of the fruit of the Spirit in our life, love, joy, peace, self-control, having these good attitudes in our lives. And you see, it might take a little work to make them fit, to make them work in your life. And you see, as I keep putting them in there, more and more of this is getting out. And of course, it's not quite perfect. You know, I'm not getting all the water out. In order to do that, I've got to turn the whole thing upside down, don't I? I've got to change it completely. You turn it upside down and all of it will pour out into this container here. But you realize that no matter what now, you see there's fruits in here. I can try and pour more sin. Well, the sins are only going to go up so far and it's going to run out because of the fruit in your life. If you're showing these fruits, if these are growing in your life, honestly growing and moving in your life, well then guess what? The sin can't grow anymore in your life because the fruit is growing in your life. And you see, I'm actually running out of space for the fruit now. But what we want is this fruit to grow in our lives. These things that we're going to learn about for the next couple of weeks, we want them to grow so that they push out the things that are bad that we don't want in our lives. Like sadness, like hate, like fear. Those things are pushed out by these things of the Spirit, this fruit of the Spirit. And each one we're going to show you how it is that those things will push out the bad things in your life. Alright everybody, you have a great time. Doe Doe the Magnificent here. See you later. Bye bye.